All right. Well, where to start? Proud of our seniors and getting a win on senior day. They've sure meant a lot to the program over the last 4 years, and I was just happy that we were able to get a victory for them. It was a hard fought victory. There's a lot of things that after the first half that I wasn't pleased with, and we needed to get corrected. And we tried to get some of those corrected at halftime, and we came back out and made some other mistakes we hadn't made in the first half. We're gonna have to get those corrected. So, again, it's hard to win a football game, and oftentimes I don't maybe enjoy them as much as I should. But it's more about the standard and what we're capable of than it is the result. But we are happy we won. But there's a lot we got to improve if we're gonna hope to continue to do that against Liberty this week and as we go through the rest of the season. So happy for Andre Carter getting the setting the new record for sacks in a season at Army. That's been around for a good while, and he's a good player, and was happy to see him make some plays this afternoon. We came up with some plays, came up with some turnovers defensively, which were big. That certainly made a difference in the game. The field goal before halftime was a big score. Had we not had that, we would have found ourselves behind there in the second half. So anyway, overall a win. You guys can probably tell from my mood, I'm not as happy with the way we played as I'd like to be, but we'll get better.
Ken Kreitzer.
Coach, just in the fourth quarter, you were able to get, when the score was down 19-17, you were able to get 2 drives, really got the running game going. Jacoby Buchanan scored, and then Tyree Tyler got the 25-yard score. How did it feel to get the running game going when you needed it?
We tried to do that all day, and there were times where we hit some plays. We hit the very long run there at the very beginning of the game, and had a call back for an illegal block, and we hit some other plays. Just couldn't finish drives. We very poor execution on third down. We got in the red zone there in the first half one time and didn't score. Came away with no points. It's disappointing to not finish drives like that. And so I was glad to see the B-backs get going, and we just started really hammering that ball in the middle, and we were getting some yards and some good push. And those guys are, all those guys are just a load. So it's good to see them start to be productive in there. I think that's where we got to start as an offense, is being good up the middle.
Coach, you had a couple of long gains brought back by blocking penalties today. Is there anything unusual about the plays, or just happened?
No, I mean the first long run that got called back. Just we came back in toward the ball and blocked below the waist. We're not allowed to do that. We don't coach it. I think he just overzealous, and he's trying to make a play. And very poor decision. And then the chop block call was, I don't know, that it was on the center and the tackle. They both arrived at the linebacker about the same time. The center cut him, and the tackle, I don't even know that he was trying to block him. He didn't square him up, but he did hit him with his shoulder as he was trying to climb, and it was a high-low block. So that has happened, and that wasn't something that our guys used poor fundamentals on. They just both happened to arrive at the same time. We had the blind side block on the kickoff return. Again, that's we got to be smart there and block legally. They changed that rule a couple of years ago for player safety, and so those are just things we got to continue to do a better job of coaching, so that our guys don't make those mistakes. And we didn't have to pay the ultimate price today, but silly penalties like that can cost our team a football game, and that would be awfully remorseful if we made those mistakes again and it cost us.
And Coach had a couple of injuries today. Obviously, Julian McDuffie and Anthony Atkins. I saw you go out to to check on Julian personally and stayed with him. What was that situation like?
Well, one, he's getting great care. We've got a great medical team and a terrific training staff, and they were Johnny on the spot and just took charge of the situation. We got him comfortable, and we were just there to comfort him. He obviously had to take a ride in the ambulance up to our hospital at Keller, and we're very fortunate to have that facility here to be able to provide care for our players as well as for our cadets in our community. So he's being evaluated up there, and hopefully he's doing better.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Sal, go ahead.
Coach, can you talk about the team's response after Julian's injury and the way they kind of seemed like they came together there?
Well, these guys love each other, and they're tremendously loyal to each other. And I think they just wanted to show him their support and their love. And I know Julian was glad to have all those guys come over and see him. So, these guys, the mentality at West Point, it's just the makeup of this place, the United States Army. It's the next man up mentality, next soldier up, and there's at times a need for that. So next guy stepped up, and we kept rolling.
What do you think the biggest thing is that your team can take away from this game?
That fundamentals win football games. Great execution of the fundamentals is all that matters. And it needs to be a wake-up call for us, because there were plenty of times where poor fundamentals got us in trouble, and we got to improve that. So hopefully those guys will learn that lesson, and hopefully we'll have enough humility to see the areas where we can improve. And we as coaches, me more than anybody, has to get those guys to do that. We got to coach it better so that we don't have those mistakes that are really, we have complete control over.
Ken McMillan.
Jeff, Christian had a tough day throwing the ball today, 2 for 12. It just looked like he was just a bit off target, either just overthrowing by a bit, or he turned his receiver a little bit. What did you think about, the way his passing game was going today?
Yeah, he early on didn't throw it great. He had had Brandon Walters wide open, and didn't make a very good throw, and unfortunately, and then he had Brandon open down there before half on the drag route, and I guess was it halftime, or maybe it was, I don't know when it was. Maybe it was the fourth quarter, going toward the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And we're down there in the red zone, and he just threw it too hard and threw it over his head. Made a really nice pass on the 2-point conversion on the boot route. He made a nice throw to Brandon Walters in the second half, going toward the building, and Brandon dropped it. And then we had a throw over there to Regan Donaldson, and he didn't, complete the catch. I thought he had a chance to bring that one down. Before half, we had a couple of long throws to Isaiah, and they weren't great throws. He did complete one, the back shoulder throw that put us in position to get the field goal. But I think he would tell you that he would have liked to have thrown the ball a little bit better. He's certainly capable of doing that, and I wish he would have, but we didn't pay the ultimate price. We figured out how to win the game without having to complete all those passes. But in the future, and this week, more than any, we're gonna have to do a good job and complete those balls when we do throw it. We're just not going to be able to make the mistakes we made today if we hope to win next week.
Do you think he felt a little tight? Is there something about senior playing on senior day, the emotions, is that kind of difficult for not only Christian, but for all players?
No, I don't think so. I don't think senior day made a difference. I mean, he's played in Army Navy games, and he's played in a lot of big football games, and not that this isn't a big football game, they're all big, but I don't think he was sweating, and he just didn't perform as well as he's capable.
And just speak about the fourth quarter and the run game. I mean, that was a pure display of Army rushing attack. You just tell us what you thought about the fourth quarter and the ball control.
It was a lot more fun to watch than the first 3 quarters.
Any others for Coach?
Coach,
Jeff, 3 wins in a row. How do you feel this leads into Liberty and Navy?
I feel relieved that we won the game because we didn't play well enough to win, but fortunately we did. And I guess just well enough to win. So we got to get better, as I said, on here 100 different ways. We got to get better. So we're gonna, Liberty's a outstanding football team with one of the best quarterbacks, maybe the best quarterback in the country. And I know that when we play the Army-Navy game, it's going to be an absolute brawl, bare knuckle fight to the end, which it always is. So if we're going to have a chance to win those games that we've got coming up, and then a bowl game after that, obviously we're going to play a team that had an outstanding season. We're going to have to play a lot better.
Ken Kreitzer?
Coach, just wanted to ask you about, on the first 2 touchdowns, you went for 2-point conversions. Just what was the thought on that?
Well, on the first one, they left the guy wide open, the eligible tight end. They didn't cover him. So that was an easy decision. They just threw it over there to him. He was uncovered, so they threw it to him. And then with the 8 points to 3, really them kicking the field goal and us having 8, being ahead by 5, when we scored and went up by 11, we can go up by 12 by kicking an extra point. But that's, really that's not any better than being up 11 points. We wanted to go up 13, 2 full scores where they had to, score 2 touchdowns and get an extra point. Or if they were to kick a field goal, if we're up 13, they kick a field goal, it's still a 2-score game. So it's just all based on the recommendations we get from the analytics. And when we got the first 2-point conversion, it just really was a clear go for a 2-point conversion the next time. And had we scored again, we would have gone for 2 the third time to go up 24-3. It would have been 3 full touchdowns. So, I mean, most people have a 2-point chart. Their 2-point charts would probably tell them the same thing.
So that's just from your analytics and your preparation for situations.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to ask you about that one touchdown that UMass scored where they did the direct snap to the tight end. I hadn't seen a play like that before. How do you advise your players to look out for things like that?
It's just a quarterback sneak. He motioned in, he got under center. As soon as he got under center, I mean, our guys knew what was coming, and just they were able to pound it in there. I mean, I thought we had him stopped, and the kid made a really good play and kind of powered and reached the ball across enough that it broke the plane. So our guys knew it was coming when he got under there.
Good, thanks, Coach.
And we'll close out with Ken McMillan.
Jeff, Merryweather from Massachusetts obviously proved himself a real good runner, busted off a couple really long runs for some conversions. But were you surprised at all that they didn't go to him? They didn't run him a little bit more during the game? Because he seemed to have great success.
He did. I don't know. You have to ask them. I think they were trying to do whatever they could to win the football game. And certainly he had a good football game. We didn't do a very good job of tackling him at times, and we left some open seams. Most disappointing one probably to me was the 3rd and 16 that they converted when they handed it off to him. We got to do better than that. So hopefully we will.
Right. You told us earlier in the week that you expected UMass to throw everything at you, all sorts of trickeration and such. Did you get what you expected?
They didn't do much of that. I think they had a double pass planned when they threw that ball backwards for a big loss. They were going to throw it over there and then throw it down the field. But really, other than that, they're just running their base offense, and we didn't get any punt fakes or onside kicks or anything like that. They just lined up and played. They did a pretty good job of executing, probably as good as they have all year.
Thanks, Jeff.